I met Pamila in college. Everyone on campus knew Pamila. She was always striving to make things better. You know, when we started practicing law, there were not very many women in the practice. She decided early on in her career that she was going to be a vehicle for change. I think her involvement in the Bar Association was particularly amazing because at that time I thought of the Bar Association as something that older white men participated in. She was the first African American woman to become a member of the Maryland Bar. She didn't have all the mentors that women do now. So she decided this is something that I'm going to strive for and try to do for other people and give them a leg up. And I think she's done a really wonderful job of that throughout her career.
Pamila Brown is a force of nature. She is so active and so involved and enthusiastic about the things that she does, and it's infectious. You want to help with whatever she's doing. She is an incredible mentor, becoming the first African-American woman to lead the Bar Association of Baltimore City, to be the first African-American woman to be president of the Maryland State Bar Association. It meant a lot. You are someone that not only other lawyers in the state look to, but it also demonstrated that a woman of color could effectively be so respected and effectively lead the organization in that way. And not just within the state of Maryland, but even on the national level. She is someone who is a strong voice for the people that need a voice. And she figures out how she can make a difference.
I first met Judge Brown when I was in law school. I applied for a law clerk position with her. Finding someone who looks like you when you're in law school, who's risen to a deputy counsel position in the Office of the Attorney General, I think that was one of the first things that struck me. As a law student wanting to practice law, I hadn't had a lot of opportunities to work in the legal community. So my first position in law school was with someone who I could aspire to be like, visibly and professionally. She absolutely showed me what was possible because there were places that she would be and that she would position herself in. And those were places that you didn't normally see people like me. I would just like to thank her for all that she has poured into me and all the time that she has given to me to guide me and to lead me to where I am today.
What really separates the trailblazing judges from the great judges are those who can stick a hand out and bring people along with them and present an image that other people can see themselves in. I have seen Judge Brown take special interest in young women. It was just so inspiring to see her, as busy as she is, to make time for specifically young women. And I think it was so important for those young women to be able to get those hours in with her to see that you can be a judge, you can be a lawyer, you can be a busy lawyer and still make time for others. And I think that's a key message that I picked up on. Judge Brown is a trailblazer in my eyes. And just in my 1 year that I've been with her as a clerk, I saw her open doors, advance the societies that she was a part of, never leaving any group the same as when she entered it.
It's with an incredible sense of humility and gratefulness that I stand before you this afternoon. I wish to thank the Commission on Women and its phenomenal chair, Carol Corbin Walker, for bestowing this wonderful honor upon me. I also want to congratulate my fellow honorees. I am so honored to be in the company of such distinguished and accomplished women. So thank you for allowing me to share in this moment. I am overwhelmed with joy to have been recognized by an association that I hold near and dear to my heart. I vividly remember attending my very first Margaret Brent award ceremony as a young lawyer and feeling the electricity in the room with many, many women. As you know now, Margaret Brent hails from my home state of Maryland, and in 1991, Jeanette Woolman received this award posthumously. Each successive year, save 3, my children. I had a conflict and then I was sick. I have had the good fortune to attend this ceremony and to be buoyed and inspired by the work of the women who received the Brent Award and those that received special awards, including Professor Anita Hill, Madam Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton, Attorney General Reno, and you came away from those meetings inspired and encouraged. My incredible mentor, the Honorable Irma Raker, received this award, so it's truly full circle for me to be in her company as well. Please bear with me as I do want to acknowledge my wonderful husband, Chris Robinson, who has stood by my side as my life partner, my cheerleader, my counselor, and my consoler for over 36 years. My incredible daughter, Dr. Marissa Robinson, who is a newlywed of 27 days. My son, Matt Robinson, is MIA, but he's doing the practicing with the preseason with the Baltimore Ravens, so I guess he gets a pass. But his lovely wife, Dallas Robinson, is here, so I want to acknowledge you. Thank you. I wish to thank the Maryland State Bar Association, Alliance of Black Women Attorneys, the Bar Association of Baltimore City, Senator Cardin, those for nominating and championing my award. But I don't stand here on my own, but on the shoulders of so many that have come before me. I was brought into this world by my parents, Bill and Gloria Brown. They instilled in me a sense of confidence that I could do anything, but I had an obligation to make the world a better place than which I found it. Their powerful message is that you always must do your best. And my dad's adage was that you have to be twice as good to get half the credit. And unfortunately, that was an adage that I experienced over and over in my career. But quite honestly, it never made me bitter. It just fortified my determination to do my best. Growing up, my parents, but especially my mom, taught me to have faith, which my faith in God has been strong and unwavering, and that nothing was impossible. As a young parent of twins, many of my colleagues I saw struggling to be a mom and a professional, and I soon realized how very lucky I was, as it never crossed my mind that one role was going to erase the other. So I'm accepting this award in my mother's honor, Gloria Odessa Tucker Brown. As lawyers and indeed as judges, we are uniquely suited to educate the public about the rule of law and about our democracy, a theme that we've heard during our conference. In some small way, I hope I've done that. We each have a responsibility to do our part. I'm a strong advocate for civic education, and at home, I have been known as the mother of civics. Regrettably, the promise for equality has not yet been realized, so we each have to use our best efforts to make sure it's achieved. If we hear something, say something. If we see something, do something. Our profession is one that's devoted to service and not just merely for gain. There's a quote that's attributable to Aristotle, which reads in part, "In the area of human life, the honors and rewards fall to those who show their good qualities in action." In my mind, that's not really true, as there are many unsung heroines and indeed heroes who were never rewarded or even acknowledged in any way. In my professional and civic endeavors, whether being on a board or a committee, oftentimes I was fearful that they wouldn't ask another person of color, so I did take on a lot of responsibility. But I've tried to make a path for others. I challenge you to do the same, to give back, to pave a way, to uplift as you climb, and to open doors for each other. That's part and parcel of what we should be doing each and every day. Breaking the glass ceiling really is not an easy task. The shards of glass have to come down, and I have the scars to prove it. But we stretch out our arms so that those below us may be shielded, and those that would follow would have a clear path. We collectively must do more to make our society and the world more inclusive, more tolerant, and indeed more compassionate. A statistic that still troubles me after graduating from law school 45 years ago, that our legal profession hasn't changed markedly, particularly with people of color and women of color. Now, I'm quite sure everyone in this room faces enormous demands on your time and on your energy. We have huge personal responsibilities: home, work, school, children, family. We also live in a complex, frightening, and sometimes uncertain world. Sometimes we feel that we just don't have enough energy to get through the day and the problems of the day. But I challenge you to live by the words of Rabbi Hillel, which is, if I am not for me, who will be? But if I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? I'd like to take a moment to share with you that I have hung in my chambers a photo of Sandra Justice Day O'Connor with my twins. And one of my favorite quotes from her is that lawyers have in their possession the keys to justice under the rule of law. Those keys are not held for lawyers' own personal purposes, but they're held in trust for all who would seek justice. Those of us gathered in this room, whether you're a lawyer or not, have those keys. While the challenges loom large, they are certainly not insurmountable. Let us take time to use these keys to open doors so that the winds of change for a new day, that one is full of hope and full of promise and full of equality, is realized. I really want to thank you for this incredible honor. I will cherish it forever. Thank you.